In this Ben's Garage video, we're doing something a little bit different. We're in the garage, and as you've seen from the title, we're going to be talking about tools. Special tools. Now, I can hear the Hobbit muttering, yeah, there's one bloody great tool in that garage. Yeah, we'll ignore that. This video, it's not going to interest everybody, but I thought, I've been mechanicking since I left school, and over those years, I've acquired a few different weird tools and bits and pieces, so I thought, well, we'll just go through, pull out some random ones and the story behind them. Some of you might be interested, some of you probably couldn't give a shit. Anyway, I've got two toolboxes. I've got the Snap-on one, and I've got this Stanley one. The Stanley one's on wheels and it just rolls around. It's got like my everyday tools, spanners, sockets, everything. That's sort of like my overflow toolbox where stuff I don't use very often's in there, so we'll have a look at both of them. And I have got Snap-on toolboxes, but I haven't got a lot of Snap-on tools. At the end of the day, they're bloody expensive. I've got Snap-on screwdrivers, I've got quarter drive socket set is Snap-on. I have got some bits and pieces, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of money for what, lifetime guarantee, yes I know. But out here in France, the Snap-on man doesn't come around every week, and I can't, if I break something, I can't just give it back to him, can I? So let's have a look in this Stanley toolbox to start with and see what's in here. Top drawer, spanners, brake pipe spanners at the back. 7 right through to 19. They're my everyday spanners. These are Sykes Pick-A-Vant. Got these when I was 16 or 17, came as a set, and they've been fantastic for all these years. Obviously I've lost the 10mm. 10mm always go missing, so the 10mm is actually a Snap-on. Another 10mm there, that's just a cheap chrome vanadium Taiwan. No make on that, but it's always good to have plenty of 10mm. Now I've got these long ones, they're quite handy, ring spanners. These long ones here, 8 and 10mm, I'm not sure that I would use them, because an 8 and 10mm bolt, if you've got to put that much leverage on the bolt, you're likely to break it. These, I bought these and I've used them once, Crowfoot spanners. Now these Crowfoot spanners, I bought these for a job on the digger. I don't know if you've watched all of my videos, you'll notice that there was a bit of an inaccessible pipe that I had to do. These did it on an extension, went up piece of cake. So although it was a bit excessive buying a whole rail of them, they're it's a good set to have. Let's get back down here. Next drawer, screwdrivers here. We've got some Snap-on screwdrivers here. These came as a set, just generic. Nice ratchet one there, you can change ends in it. These things here, these were pretty good buy. These are a trim removing tool. So we've got that one there, a little diddy one, and a rather long one. Don't use them very often, but it's a good thing to have. I've got a nice long 3/8 drive ratchet in here as well. Plus, every mechanic needs a magnet. So yeah, I've just a couple of chainsaw tools there. That's for adjusting the carburetors on chainsaws. This is my little favourite tuning screwdriver. Just generic stuff in there, nothing too exciting. Here we've got the pliers, mole grips, whatever they call. We used to call these water pump pliers. Little mole grips, circlip pliers. These are my little dainty circlip pliers. You can swap that round so you can go inwards or you can do an outwards one. But for more heavy duty, these are fantastic. They're like on a ratchet, if I can get it to work. I've forgotten how to use it now. You can change these ends, and as you click it together, it stays there. Anyway, you get the idea. You can turn them from one way to the other. Always good to have a good set of circlip pliers. And there's all the ends that just screw in there. Now these are my favourites. So this is story time now. You'll see these pliers here. They say Toyota on them. And they open up, they've got the little slide there. These have been with me since I was 16. When I left school, I started doing an apprenticeship at a place called Truckmasters, which is in Wainfleet near Skegness. They used to do all the Sanderson teleporters, because I think the Sanderson factory was up near Skegness. We used to do all the teleporters, all the load handling, and forklifts. So, when a brand new forklift was being sold, when it was PDI'd, we used to take the toolkit out of the wherever it was stored, under the seat or wherever. Now in the toolkit was these pliers, a screwdriver that you pulled out of the handle, swapped it round, and a couple of open-ended spanners. I might have them kicking about somewhere. So I was given that. They said, there you go, there's the start of your toolkit, because they obviously don't let the customer have a toolkit because they don't want them taking it apart themselves. It's brand new, it's under warranty. Anyway, these have been absolutely priceless throughout my mechanicking career. And I'll tell you, one of the best jobs, obviously they do a special tool for this job I'm about to say. Open them up like that, and when you're taking the brake shoes off a car, the pin that comes through is on a retaining thing. That just goes on lovely, squash it, push it in and twist it, and it comes off. That has never failed to take one of them off, because obviously it opens up. I love these pliers. If I ever lost them, I'd be gutted. They're just cheap, nasty, crap. But they've lasted 16. How long? When was I 16? I left school in 93, something like that. So yeah, bit of a story time on that one. This drawer is just like Allen keys. I've got a set of Allen keys there, and these are just Torx bit drivers. I've got another set of Allen keys indoors, which I should bring back out here really. There's nothing exciting here. This one has been used many times. I can't remember what it's for, but it's the right size for something that I've used a lot of. That one's obviously worn out quite a bit. So that's that little drawer. Here we go, sockets. This lot here is snap-on. This lot here is, these ones are, I don't know what make they are. Does say on some of them, does he? No, I think they're Kamasa or something like that. So I've got a row of, these are 3/8 drive, short ones and deep ones. Now when it comes to impact sockets, I only ever used to buy them when I needed them. So I've got like 17, 19, 21 in the deep, 14 and 13. And then I've got all the other sizes, and as I say, they don't match, but I've just bought them as and when I've needed them. A few ratchets in there, a couple of extensions. It's my electrical drawer. These. If you're ever going to be doing any electrics, these and these are invaluable. These are wire strippers. Put your wire in there, I'll just strip the end off. And these are crimpers. Now obviously I have got somewhere, they must be indoors, just some ordinary wire strippers, and they're pretty good. They're made by Blue Point, which is a subsidiary of Snap-on. I think these are Blue Point as well. But you put your terminal in the end and you just click, 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 click until it stops, and then you click it one more time and it releases it. And you've got colour on there, yellow, blue, red, for whatever terminal you put in. Now I tend to always, once I've done them, I'll put them on the red one because that's the smallest and it gives it a really good tight thing. So that's that. In there it's just test lights, multimeters, that kind of thing. Nothing too exciting. And there we go. No toolbox is complete without a hammer drawer. Now another special tool that we got in the hammer drawer is this. Now everybody should have one of these. Impact driver. Screwdriver bits in the end. I've got a load of other bits in there. Put that on the screw that won't come undone. Give it a tap and it twists and it undoes it. Impact driver, as the title suggests. That has been invaluable as well. So something good to keep in your toolbox. So that's my everyday sort of roll around the workshop toolbox, that if I need something I'll just go and grab it. We'll see what we've got over in this other toolbox now. Let's go over there. As I say, this toolbox is like the overflow toolbox, so there's not a lot in it. I mean, that one I've just got, because it's quite high up, it's just like a set square. That's the sunroof tool for the Range Rover. Your sunroof won't go back on its own. This one is just G-clamps and stuff like that. I've got this here. Not many people would have seen one of these. If you're in the trade, you probably would have done. It's an exhaust pipe cutter. So you wrap that around the exhaust, hook it back on itself like so, and then you squeeze the handle together as you roll it round. And these little wheels cut through the exhaust. Quite a handy thing to have. It's not going to be used by a lot of people, but I think these were being sold rather a lot when the old catalytic converters were being stolen. Yeah, that's not why I've got it. This drawer is more mole grips, clamps for welding. I've got this, which I have absolutely no idea what this is. If you've got any idea what that is, it's sort of shaped funny at the end. I've no idea. I've picked it up from somewhere. Who knows? This drawer, I think's more sockets, overflow sockets. I think I've got that one. That's a 30mm. That might have been for an injector, and just some other big sockets. I've got the 3/4 drive socket set down there. Then we're down on this drawer. This is where the fun starts. So when you're in the mechanicking trade and you can't get access to the particular bolt or nut and bolt that you're trying to undo, with a regular spanner, you do something like that. Oxyacetylene, give it a couple of bends, that fits straight on. I can't remember what this was for. It's a 17mm, but after I bent it, it fitted in there, and I thought, well, I'll keep it bent like that, because if I ever have to do that job again, I might need that. I don't think I ever have done. This one is a spanner that I've cut the end off. 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. So, an Imperial car. Now, if I remember rightly, I was doing the starter motor on a Jaguar. I believe it was I can't remember if it was a 6-cylinder or 12. I think it was a 12-cylinder. It was an XJ12. Or it might have just been it had 2 tanks in the back anyway. Doing the start motor, and if you've ever done a start motor on one of those, they are right sod. There's not a lot of room up there, so cut this spanner down. That fitted in there a bloody treat. So I've never needed it again after that, because I don't think I've ever done a start motor on a Jaguar V12 since then. But I've still got it. So in here we've got another selection. We've got some old made in England. That's 5/16. I think these are Whitworth spanners. That's 5/16. And something else, I can't read it. This one here, this is Whitworth. That's a 1/4 Whitworth. And I've got, you know, these are all old Whitworth spanners. Now, some of you younger viewers out there will have no clue what I'm talking about when I say Whitworth. Obviously now you've got metric and imperial, so you've got millimetres, or you've got, you know, inches and 1/2 inch, 9/16, 1/4, you know, all that sort of thing. Now, all the old cars that came from the UK, I'm not saying all, but hell of a lot of them, were Whitworth. First garage I ever worked at, Fendike Garage, up near Spilsby in Lincolnshire. If I can find any pictures, I'll put them up. I didn't last very long at Truckmasters. One of the reasons being was all they ever got me doing was cleaning the toilets. And they said, well, you've got to do that sort of job, sweeping the floors and cleaning toilets for at least 6 months. So when the old training people used to come out for a visit, the managers and that said, well, he's not very enthusiastic, we don't know about keeping him on, blah, blah, blah. So they said to me, oh, you're not very enthusiastic. I thought, I can't get enthusiastic about cleaning out the shitter and sweeping a workshop floor. Anyway, I was there for, I say, 6 months. Got a sort of another placement at the local garage, which was only 2 miles up the road. First day there, I was straight on the car, under supervision of course, but I was working on the tools and it was just fantastic. I don't know if they're ever going to watch this, but if Will and Caroline ever see this video, it's a 2 thumbs up from me. They set me on the right path. Now that garage, we used to do a lot of old classic cars and he used to do a lot of Morris Minor restorations, but obviously a lot of other classic cars as well. So it was all kinds of things like that. And so that's where the Whitworth spanners come in. I've not got many, but I've got some. Let's see what else is further down. This is the specialty drawer. Got my pom-pom stick for lapping in valves. A lot of people won't know what that's all about anymore. Couple of pop rivet guns, vernier calipers. A paint opening... a paint tin opening tool. Now this is made by Standox, who obviously used to make things. Some feeler gauges. Not a lot of youngsters now will know what they're all about. Needle files. They're ideal for cleaning out the nozzle on the old oxyacetylene. A couple of Stanley knives and a scraper with a Stanley blade in the end of it. That's good for cleaning gaskets off, all that kind of thing. More specialty tools. Some of you with the old Land Rovers will know what that is. That's a Land Rover wheel bearing tool for slackening off the wheel bearings. G-clamp, air ratchet. These two. Now over my mechanicking career, I've obviously moved about over the UK. I've got a job at a place called Collie Weston Garage. It's not there anymore. If I can find an old picture of it, I'll put it up. It was a family-run garage. I believe they were the second garage in the country to take on Toyota back in the 60s. And just before I started working there, Toyota had... this is the story I was told. I could be wrong. But Toyota just... it was a small family garage with a little forecourt out the front. And... as you know, all these main dealers like going to these massive showrooms, all tiled floors and all shite and briny. So I think Toyota said, we're going to Marshall's in Peterborough. So he took on Daihatsu, which is pretty much just Toyota, but he was still specialising in Toyotas that he was importing from Holland, and he was sort of selling them for a couple of grand cheaper than what the UK spec. They were still UK spec cars. I don't know what... he was importing them from Holland, but they were all right-hand drive. So I don't... anyway, we was getting a lot of new Toyotas come through, plus Daihatsus, and I did really like working there because it was a nice workshop. There's only 3 of us in the workshop. Nice tiled floor on it. It was always clean and that. And he had a lot of nice cars kicking about. He had a Toyota 2000 GT in the showroom. I think they're worth absolute fortunes now. Whether he's still got it or not, don't know. Anyway, so I've got these. You know, I don't know how I acquired them, but they fit Toyota oil filters. I think one fits like the MR2, the Mark IIs, and possibly the later ones. And I think this one was the Toyota Carina, Toyota Corolla. Likely never to use them again, but I've got them. This drawer. Everyone's got to have a torque wrench and a breaker bar. And a set of long screwdrivers. Plus these. Sump bung removal tools. So in this drawer we've got quite a few special tools. We've got these sump bung removing tools. You know, you've got your squares, your hexes, all bits and pieces. Good for sump bungs, but axle bungs, all that kind of thing. This has been the best, you know. It's all very well trying to do it with tools that are not meant for the job, but if you get a set like this, ideal. More special tools in here. We've got the long screwdrivers. I bought these for one job and I've not used them since. We've got a food mixer in the kitchen and it was just getting a little bit noisy and I couldn't work it out, but I thought, well, I'll just take it apart. Of course, the screws are right down in a tube, so I had to get a really long screwdriver for that job. Will I ever use them again? Who knows? We've also seen these, ball joint breaker. Now this is a special tool and I've even labelled it so I don't forget. Honda XL clutch tool. I'm likely to never ever need that again. So if anybody on here needs a Honda XL clutch tool, give me a shout. We'll work out a deal. Down here is another electrical stuff. I've got this, but I'm just going to show you the other one first. Now this is proper old school. I remember my dad using this. Looks like a gun, doesn't it? Got a trigger on it. This is a timing light. As again, a lot of you younger viewers won't have a clue what all this is. This one is powered by the mains. So it's got a UK mains plug on it. And what you used to have to do was pull off number 1 spark plug, pop that on top of the spark plug and put your plug cap back on there. There is a range thing on there and you can adjust the wheel, pull the trigger. I was going to use this to set the Panda up, but instead, this is made by Gunson, which is a good make I suppose. But I bought this one in the end, that you just clip it on the battery and you clip that on number 1 plug lead. It's got a trigger on it and it does the same thing, but you ain't got to worry about running out mains electric to do the job. Now, back in the day, when we was, I say early 90s, a lot of the cars coming into the garage were from the 70s and 80s. They still had what you call points and condenser. There was a big thing going about, signs up everywhere, Krypton tuning. Now, the Krypton machine we had at Fendike Garage looked like something that should be in intensive care. It was huge, great big yellow thing, and it had a big box on the top which was the gas analyzer, which we used to use for the MOTs as well. There's all these wires used to clip up, and there was all these dials on the front, like needle dials, and then you had like digital stuff on one side, all buttons along it. You used to plug it all onto the car. The different coloured leads went different places on the battery, number 1 plug lead. You could set the dwell angle of the points, so you had to put 2 plugs, one either side of the coil. That's how you could measure the dwell angle. And it was easy. Once you'd done it a few times, it was quite straightforward, and you could get a car running as sweet as a nut. Really did make a big difference. Obviously nowadays everything's electronic. You don't even need a timing light anymore. Obviously we've got the Panda, so that's all old school. I have put an electronic distributor on the Panda because it had points on it, but you still got to set the timing on the distributor. So yeah, those were the good old days. I don't know if they were good days or not, but they were more simple. You know, a car came in for a full service. You'd take the rocker cover off, you'd adjust the tappets all the way through, put a new rocker cover gasket on, new spark plugs, this, that and the other. You then get all the timing spot on, so you get your points spot on, get your timing light out, get all your timing absolutely spot on, then you would adjust the carburetor. In that order, because you don't want to be adjusting the carburetor till you know everything else is right, and the car would go away running as sweet as a nut. Now just change the spark plugs and that's it. But yeah, the good old days. So it is quite funny, the sort of tools that you pick up over time. I've got these two here. Oil filter removing tools. Sometimes you just cannot do without them. This thing, it's a puller. You know, some jobs I just would not be able to do it without that. But then you sort of get hold of some tools, as I've said previously, that you're just never going to use again. So we've got this. I mean, this is something that I could probably use again if I started doing repairs on mowers and stuff. This is a Briggs & Stratton flywheel puller. You know, it wasn't expensive. I was fixing a lot of mowers at the time, so it was worthwhile me having it. Now it's just sitting on the shelf gathering dust. But if you haven't got it, you'll never get that flywheel off without breaking it, because... So that's it for this video. I mean, I've probably got a lot more specialist tools kicking around. I've got a Gunson emissions tester thing up there, and other bits and pieces kicking about. But I thought we'd just go through a few of these little things, show you what I've picked up over the years, and the backstory behind them. Some of you might be interested. I mean, Fendike Garage is still there and it's still running. Collie Western Garage isn't there anymore. That's been knocked down and they've put houses on it, which was a shame. But then they've got Corby Mitsubishi, and I think they might have a dealership in Peterborough now as well. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, things move on, don't they? But, I'm just having a scan around, see if there's anything else. But I can't see anything else, so that's going to be it for this video. Now, the garage is always locked, so don't think you can come around here and pinch my special spanners. You've got to get past the dogs first. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I've got some more Range Rover content coming along very soon. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.